Welcome to the Orlando Lions Den Podcast, your number one Orlando City podcast. For the fans, by the fans. For the fans, by the fans. Keeping you in the know on all things Orlando City since 2018.
Hello, and welcome in to another edition of the Orlando Lions Den podcast. You might be sitting here wondering, how did this podcast get more handsome? And the answer is Evan Weston joining the crew, obviously host of Orlando Soccer Insight, and also Apple TV, and now recently doing the gig with Fox Sports calling games. Evan Weston, how you doing, brother? So great to have you back on the show.
I don't know if it got more handsome. It certainly got more bald.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Bald Union represent. Me and Cleon are holding it down. Mike may or may not be. He's hiding behind that baseball cap.
I don't even know myself.
Oh, look at that head of hair.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Why would you hide such a glorious mane?
Because I decided to take a mental health day from work today. So I've been lounging all day and did not feel like getting myself put together.
Our Mets have been winning far too much. It's destroying their lottery odds. I'm very upset with them.
Brett Beatty, of all people, hitting a grand slam today right after Keith Hernandez called it.
They can't even think properly. They're so bad at everything.
It's a miserable existence. It's my favorite TikTok of all time was a guy who's on the streets. They're like, so what's the best part about being a Mets fan? He's like, it's such a miserable franchise that, it really helps build character. And he's like, well, if that's the best part, what's the worst? If that's the best part, what's the worst part? May through September. So
you want to make your children, able to survive the ravages of the 21st century. Make them Mets fans.
My first dog was named Shay, man,
So is Chipper Jones's son.
I love it. All right. Well, we got plenty.
And somehow I'm named after a Mets player. I have no idea how, because I'm from Bermuda.
You are a Mets player that actually won something.
Oh yeah, when it's in the DNA, I guess, in the blood.
There you go, man. We love it. All right. Well, we got plenty of stuff we want to talk about today. We got to talk about the Leagues Cup, what comes next, FC Cincinnati at home, and we got a man who's calling our games throughout the entire Leagues Cup and that FC Cincinnati game as well in Evan. But before we jump into all the fun stuff, go ahead and give a couple quick shout outs. First to Chad McGibbon at Chad McGibbon Realty. If you're trying to buy a home in the Central Florida area, Chad has got you covered. It's QR code on the screen or at Chad McGibbon on Twitter. Then we have the Epic Mortgage Team powered by U Mortgage, our man Leo Gonzalez, 407-844-7696. If you're trying to buy a home, mortgage, refinance, any of that stuff, he's got you covered. I look forward to beating his butt in fantasy football again this year. Hopefully, I need to get my lick back in the big money league. And then last but not least, our man Eddie with Comparing Insurance. If you're trying to get any updates to your insurance, home insurance, car insurance, boat insurance, he doesn't deal in Colorado, but he has been helping me out because we've been trying to figure things out as far as home insurance for us. He's got you covered. If you can't use the QR code on the screen, DM the podcast and we will go ahead and get you connected. Eddie is always working, and there's a chance he might pop in later tonight and say hi. So we hope to see him if he can. But enough about that. I want to go ahead and first talk about our man Evan here. Had a great year joining in on the Apple TV fam. Just called the game for Fox Sports. First, I want to ask, how much of a gift is it to get an absolute worldie scored in the game that you're calling on a national broadcast? Because that goal by Brian Rodriguez was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, that was pretty special. I gotta say, Club America is a plum assignment. They are pretty breathtaking. Very fun team. I would love to see Brian Rodriguez back in MLS. He was I don't know, 20 years old when he signed for LAFC. He probably wasn't quite ready to be a DP on a club like that. He is now. He was absolutely dominant in that game. That was special. I have Evander coming up on Saturday. I know nobody wants to see that happen in this particular game. But he has been a gift to broadcasters the world over, as has Martin Ojeda, who unfortunately it doesn't sound like is going to be available. But he had a fair few good ones from him over the years as well.
Oh, absolutely. And to be completely transparent, when it comes to the Evander of it all, I think he did enough against us last time that he can spare us this time.
Yeah,
so,
that was a bit much. I would agree. It's a little excessive.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that as we get towards the end of the show. But like I said, I wanted to ask a couple questions to you up front, talking about the gig that you've been doing with Apple. I feel like it's been fun to watch you this year in particular, just because for me, I've noticed that I think they put a lot of trust in you, because I've noticed you kind of have a rotating team of color commentators who are there along with you, whether it be Sasha, whether it be Dax. How difficult is it to kind of juggle that, going with preparing different for each person? And do you like that as an extra challenge as you're kind of going through things?
I love it. It's not that hard at all, because Dax and Sasha are both tremendous partners. They're two guys who were great players because of their brains, rather than maybe their innate physical gifts. They were able to achieve what they did because of their cerebral understanding of the game. And they do have some differences. Dax is, if we're going to use some wrestling parlance, Dax is a little bit more of a baby face. Sasha tends to like to play the heel a little bit, which he
around these parts, no.
You may have noticed. He actually has only love for Orlando. We love to talk about it, and it's always it's fun to when we were losing early this year, and he would be like, "Hey, they're not on our level yet," and they never quite got there. But yeah, they're both tremendous partners, great people. They're both family men, beautiful families. I'm so thrilled that they've been able to make the transition from a playing career to a media career so seamlessly, because that is a difficult thing to do. And both had great runs at the World Cup. You had Sasha was with Brad Guzan on Fox's digital show. I think he got to go to 20-something games. He was flying all over the country at the best game of the day. And Dax was on First Things First with Nick Wright and Chris Broussard. He was their resident soccer guy for about 5 weeks, doing that show basically every day. So it was really great to kind of keep up with them through those experiences. And they've taught me a lot about the game. And I hope that I have been able to make them look good as we've gone along here. But because they're both so quality, it's not really all that difficult. I'm not going into it with any sort of a different mindset. It's just and frankly, they're fairly similar in the way they think about the game. So it's not too different, but it's been a great assignment. And the other great thing about it is Sasha's based in Los Angeles. So I've been able to get out to the West Coast quite a bit. I've had, I think, 5 games in California already. I have another one coming up in October. I'll be in Seattle next week, which we'll see how that coach call with Schmetz goes, because it's not going so great up there right now. But he's an absolute legend, and I'd certainly hope that club can turn it around, because MLS is better when Seattle is good. So, but it's been great. It's certainly been good for my Delta account. I'm a gold medallion member now. I'm projecting to get to platinum by the end of the year. I got my first class upgrade last month on a flight out to Austin. I got up there and this man, very nice, comes by, the flight attendant. He asked me, "What would you like to drink?" So we hadn't even taken off yet. He's like, "Well, what can I get you?" It's like booze? They were like, "Yeah, it's free." And the guy next to me looks at me. He's a grizzled salesman. He's probably been doing it for 40 years. He goes, "You're up front now, pal." It was beautiful.
It made me think of a flight I had to take recently for a work trip, where they just stopped me, the flight attendant's like, "Oh, we need you to wait here. We got to go run something out." I was like, "Yeah, no problem." They're like, "Do you want one of these?" And handed me the wipes or whatever for my seat. And then the other flight attendant walked past. She's like, "Or a mimosa?" I was like, "Yeah, I want that. Give me one of those."
Yes.
And then they're like, "Well, we did pour an extra one, so yeah, here you go." I'm like, I'm the only guy in row 24 that got free mimosas. So.
Magical moment.
We'd love to see it. Dude, it's been fantastic, just because obviously, we love you calling Orlando City games. We'd love to see your progress. And getting a message in the chat here as, do we get a sell-on fee from Apple and FS1 for Evan? I'll go ahead and have to talk with the front office brass to see if that was put in the contract. I know that Ricardo is a savvy businessman, so maybe there's something that he put in there. I'm not sure. Maybe the agent gets the cut. I don't know how that works. Once we get to that side of things. But so I got one question. Now I'm going to get into more Orlando City centric questions for you, because you know that's why we're here. I got to ask, from the Little Prince to the Lion King, did you have that locked in the chamber before the game?
I did, and in fact, I stole it. And I want to be totally clear about this. So I very rarely do that. I really, really don't do it. I had one ready for Suns' first goal. I had been assigned this New England LAFC game that I guess nobody wanted months before last year, and they signed him, and it just happened to be his first start. And I don't even remember what I was going to say. He got an assist. He didn't score. But I knew I had to have something for Griezmann. And the video team had titled the big reveal video of him in the barbershop with where he rips it off and he's got the purple hair. And the barbershop is actually in the middle of the stadium, which was, by the way, an incredible shoot. I got to see some of the behind the scenes and some of the renderings they did of it. And it was Dion McCarter is the guy in charge of the video team now. Does a phenomenal job. And they've really stepped it up this year. That was a fantastic shoot. But it was during that they had a caption that said that. And I said to Dion, that is such a good line. Can I swipe it? And it turns out that it was actually our genius Orlando City social media admin, Connor, who coined the line and had it on social media. So I need to issue a public and direct apology to Connor for stealing your shit. I apologize. I had requested permission from Dion. I thought that was cleared. It never brought up with Connor, apparently. So this is my public forum apology for thieving the line, but I thought it was absolutely brilliant. And I mean, you had the Disney tie-in, and it was too good. So I couldn't let it slide. It needed to be heard by anyone who in France or Spain or whatever that clicked on that clip. So there you go.
Oh yeah. Oh no, you understood the moment. I think that's one of my favorite things about your commentary is you know when to let the moment breathe. You know when to let the crowd take action, and then but still get that line in there where it's going to still have that impact. And that's
that
where
crowd
one
that
of the things
night
I think you're great at.
Sensational too. I mean, what a house. And one of the great things about our fan base and about Inter.co Stadium is that when you have, I remember during COVID being struck by this, even when there's only 6,000 people in the building, it's so loud because everything is metallic and the field is below sea level and it's designed to suck the noise down. And Dax told me flat out, he said, we hated coming here. Nashville-Orlando rivalry was very real, by the way. I have heard some things that I probably shouldn't share on this podcast, but they, from multiple people involved in it, they were not friendly at all. But they did not like coming here. And
we're not friendly off the field either, you know?
Right. And I stay out of that. But when it was packed like that, it was like, oh, wow, this is one of the cathedrals. I mean, to me, it's why the national team does so well here. Because we always sell out those games. And it's just such a tremendous badge of honor for the community, I think. And I was even impressed by the crowd in the couple of Leagues Cup games. It wasn't full, but it was significantly better than we've seen for Leagues Cup the past few years. Certainly Griezmann, I would imagine, is the main draw there, but it seems like there's a buzz around the team that there hasn't been. And that was a really exciting thing for me to see as someone who's invested in our community kind of showing their best.
Definitely. And obviously, you know, Griezmann definitely brings a bit of buzz to it, but you also love to see just positive results bring positive atmosphere. And as you can see here, Connor's watching along right now. So it's perfect timing for him to go ahead and see that Connor, you nailed it and nothing to be sorry about.
Absolutely crushing it on the socials, my friend. The best memes dunking on other accounts when we win of any club in MLS, hands down.
And Connor, I think we're gonna have to get you on the show next. And the main reason being is I want to talk about the ratio that you pulled off on the New England Revolution for the trading card reveal that they did for Jack
exactly what
Harrison.
you're talking about.
Because boy, was that derivative, huh?
You know what's
All
funny? I had the Chicago Fire game that got smoked out against Vancouver that was going to be Robert Lewandowski's debut. That was a travel saga. But ultimately the point is there were all these Polish fans who were wanting the Griezmann reveal for their guy. And I thought that was really cool that Orlando had done such a job there that other people from another country that had no investment in it kind of noticed it, which was pretty sweet.
I do appreciate, that we're beefing with New England now. It's off the Connor's on his personal account. It's off the record. We don't have to.
Orlando plays New England on decision day, by the way. So that's
could be a big thing.
Something to look out for. Just a heads
especially if we start to stack positive results, which now with Leagues Cup starting to wind down, I feel like we're getting close to there. But couple things I want to ask you, because you were here, during the Daryl DK days. You were here while he's coming back now. So how do you feel about how he's gonna fit into things now back into this team?
Well, first of all, if you're talking about him as a person, I mean, Daryl is as bubbly and warm and just generous a personality that you'll see. He was that smile, the celebrations, instant fan favorite, dominant player at his best. And it's funny because usually in Europe, especially in England, when a player comes in and doesn't live up to the price tag, and West Brom, by the way, is not splashing the cash on just anybody. I mean, to spend $9.5 million on a player for them, you got to be the man. And Daryl was very good when he was on the field, but he was so ravaged by injury during that whole stint. And fans will turn on players for reasons that are completely out of the player's control. And that never happened for Daryl at West Brom. And I thought that said a lot about the kind of person that he is and how much he won them over with his spirit and the joy that he plays the game with. And when you talk from a tactical perspective, he is the only guy who fills this role on Orlando City's roster now of being a target striker. There is clearly the idea of playing without one most of the time. And with Daryl, you have to be very careful about managing his minutes. This is a player that had 2 Achilles tears. He is so built and so muscular. He has a body that is not a typical soccer body. He has that long injury history. So you're going to have to manage him. I would not expect him to be starting week in and week out. But at the same time, as a guy you can throw on to unbalance the defense, change the system, he doesn't quite have the burning pace that he did in his first stint, but still a guy that can really stretch a back line and wrestle with the center back and occupy space. I think that's such a valuable tool for Orlando City to have. And there are moments, I think we really saw it against Club Leon, where they were missing that guy. Club Leon has these 2 bruising Colombian, physical, nasty center backs, and Orlando were never really able to bother them. The goal they scored was Marko Pasalic doing Marko Pasalic things, and otherwise there wasn't a whole lot that troubled those guys other than the sort of controversy with the penalty shot at the end. So to have Daryl to be available for that sort of a game, I think would be very, very valuable down the stretch if they can keep him fit. And that's going to be the big question, right? Is he going to be available? If he is, I don't see any reason why he can't still score goals in MLS.
Yeah, and I think that's how we all feel too. I've never heard anybody say a single bad thing about the guy, and the point that you make there about the fact that he was still beloved even throughout they know soccer over there, obviously, not trying to say anything about that, but they know that none of those injuries were they were just all unfortunate, and he was such a good guy, a good presence. And the fact that he left them on a positive with scoring a couple goals before he left out. Yes. I think that's one of those things where it's just one of those, obviously the fans are like, he's got to move. We understand that, but he was a good kid. kind of thing. And I feel like an old man when I'm saying that now, and that's weird. But
He is still 26, if you can believe
he's
it.
still young. Yeah,
it's crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's still super young. Okay, and then the last question I have for you before we'll go ahead and talk a little bit of Leagues Cup and what we got coming up. I feel like this team's now running into a situation where we have an embarrassment of riches in the attack. We got Marco Pasalic. It looks like he is now more likely to stay than to go, which is different than what we had been hearing and thinking and, theorizing, I guess you could say. So we got Marco Pasalic, Martin Ojeda, hopefully coming back healthy soon, Antoine Griezmann. And then you have this kid, Justin Ellis, who has just been a revelation. I believe Cleon referred to him as a sauce god at one point.
As a
He's
what?
got a sauce god. He's got so much sauce on the field when he's playing.
Oh, yeah.
He plays with a lot of sauce. How does he fit in with all of the designated players? Do we still think that all three DPs plus him's on the field? Who ends up being the odd man out here?
No. It's impossible. It's not. You can't play with all those guys, at least not in this system. And even then, I mean, you have I'm really curious about Marco because you could use him in a few different ways. You could put him in the Dorsey spot, but Dorsey's been so good, I wouldn't really want to mess with that. You could put him in the Spicer spot, but that's not really where he plays. And Spicer has been, I mean, the numbers on Spicer right now are
fantastic.
I said this on the show on Saturday. If you look at his goals and assists per 90 through his Orlando City career, there are two players in MLS who have a higher number this season, Messi and Evander, and that's it. He has been preposterously efficient. It's 3 goals and 3 assists in 4 games. I mean, so he's immovable right now. Griezmann is obviously immovable, and so is Ojeda. So if Ellis is going to play, it's probably in Angulo's spot where we did see him play some before the World Cup. But if you drop Angulo, you're in for a world of hurt defensively because he is so important. And I know fans want goals. I know he's been frustrating at times in front of net, but I've been saying it for 5 years. The guy does so much that you just don't see if you're not watching the games. If you just look at the box score, you'd think, why are they still running with this guy? But if you watch the games, and especially in this role where he's a winger nominally, but he's really number 8. When they get on the ball, he comes inside.
Put him there.
He's almost a free player defensively to run around and cause havoc and be a ball winner. And without Brian Ojeda, he's probably your best ball winner, which is crazy to think.
He has new life in this role. It's like, as someone who has been highly critical of Ivan Angulo during his time here, I love him playing the way that he's playing right now. Like he's almost undroppable for me too. So
here's the thing then. I would think that in a big game, Griezmann and Ojeda would be your guys. And I was lucky enough to see them play in the friendly against Dallas and it was, I mean,
I was so frustrated. I was on a work trip in Dallas for that.
And you couldn't go?
But I was
not
in
a Dallas
Plano.
season ticket holder.
Well, I was in. One of my friends who is I think his handle is Cautiously Optimistic FC Dallas fan. He hit me up and was like, "I could probably help you get out." I was like,
wow.
I'm on a client trip right now, visiting a client that's based in Plano. So for me to take an Uber after I'm done meeting there, because they were at the new North Texas SC Stadium, which is I think on the southwest side of Dallas, it was like an hour and 20-minute Uber for me to get out there. And I was like, I just don't think that there's a shot that I can make it work.
Well, you didn't love the game enough, Mike.
It was unfortunate.
No,
unfortunate.
I was only there because Dallas played a Leagues Cup game last week in that stadium against Querétaro, and they needed to test whether or not all of the stuff worked for the broadcast. This young man, you see the limits of my technical knowledge. And they just needed a commentator to commentate the game and help troubleshoot. And so I was out there for that. And I then realized, put 2 and 2 together. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get to see Grizzy. And so it was very cool. And they won the game. The interchange between the two of them was electric. And we saw in the first half of the season, Ojeda play a lot as a number 9. And I thought he looked pretty good there as someone who was willing to run and stretch. I mean, remember Ellis just bombing balls to him over and over again against Atlanta in the Open Cup game, which was just a one-way track meet.
A treat.
I would think that he and Griezmann can do that for each other. It was actually Ojeda who did it for Griezmann for a goal in that game. So
yes,
if you have Ellis, Pasalic, and Daryl Dike that you can bring off the bench, I mean, that is pretty wild. But I don't know that you can start more than two of them at a time. And I would really hesitate to bench Ellis because he has something, man. He is something special. I've been talking about this kid for a couple of years. I saw him at MLS Next in Tennessee last year. I was doing some of those games with Kalen Carr and Jaleel Anibaba, and he was the best player in that age group by a mile. Just a total package. And I don't even really know what his position is.
No.
What position does he play? Dribbler.
yes.
Yeah.
No, he
Point
gets
guard.
on the ball and he just has his Dax put it really well on the broadcast on Saturday. He rides through challenges so well. He just because he's not that fast. He doesn't look like he's that shifty. He's kind of got that gangly teenage body. He's like a 14-month-old puppy. But then when he gets on the ball and it's, oh my God, where did that come from? I want to see him a little more confident in front of goal. It seems like he and Griezmann have become like stepbrothers, best friends off the pitch, which is my favorite story going on with the club right now. They play FIFA together. They get their massages done together. And Ellis grew up idolizing him. I mean, what an amazing thing, right? But they like to pass to each other a little too much, and someone's got to shoot at some point. So I would maybe like to see him be a little more unselfish as the next step. But goodness, we got another one. And I know he and Alex Freeman were close, and I know he is inspired by what Alex has been able to accomplish. And look, Alex was 21 when he broke into the first team, and he only had a year left on his contract. Ellis is under control for multiple seasons and has just turned 19. So that's really good for the club. And this is a kid that is obviously, I don't have any inside information here, but you have to be an idiot not to know that he's going to have a lot of interest very, very soon with these performances he's putting together. So right now it's down to Martin Perelman to make this a good thing and not a bad thing, that you have all of these guys that want to play and be able to rotate them in and out. The good news is they play a ton of games. So you should be able to see all of them in varying degrees. I would say, and I know there's a lot of questions about Griezmann's workload and whether or not at 35 years old he can handle playing 90 twice a week. He can. This is not a normal soccer player. He is not a normal human being. He is a genetic freak who has been doing this for his entire life. And if he says he can go, I am inclined to trust him. He's had one injury in his entire career, and it only took him out for 2.5 months. That's it. He's played at least 50 games in each of the last 15 seasons. The guy is ridiculous. He is Cal Ripken Jr. So let's let the year go on, but I would not get super twisted about that just yet, because I think if he says I'm good, they're going to trust him. And I think that's the right call.
Well, I'll be honest. I am still sitting here knocking on wood and hoping that you're right, because they don't call it a commentator's curse for nothing. So
yes, I've got the wooden desk here. We'll knock right on there. But yeah, no, the guy is amazing. I mean, really, he's something special. As long as he's here, it's going to be must see.
Well, I think that is good enough segue into going to talk about his first goal in Leagues Cup play at Inter.co Stadium. I hate that that's what it's called now.
I can't even.
It's not my fault.
It took so long to get to the other name, bro. Now we got to switch again. It's like
it's not our job to complain about that, though. But he got his first goal. Evan was on the call for it. We already talked about the call. Very odd game. Obviously, Monterrey fans probably frustrated. At one point, you said you almost have to feel for them. I admit I do not have to feel for them.
No, you don't. You definitely do not.
I understand what you're getting at. But, I mean, realistically, the penalty kick they were given, it was the right call to take that away. That was never a penalty kick. The two offsides.
The first one, I thought.
The first one, especially.
The first one.
I did not agree with that. I thought that was a good goal.
I don't know where that came from.
The fact that they even drew lines to suggest it was laughable in my opinion, because that was the worst possible angle that they could show on camera.
So I will say this about the lines. They are actually they are accurate. They did the technology to calibrate from all the different angles. So they're going to be a pretty good representation. And the second one was offside. That was the right call. And those lines were right, that he was. It looked closer than it was. The first one, I'm just not sure that that's what VAR is for, frankly. If you have now, the best technology is the semi-automated, which this is not, right? Yeah. That's going to be the one that we saw at the World Cup that was accurate to the blade of grass. If you can get that, I don't have a problem with it. If he's offside, he's offside. You got to draw the line somewhere. But this was really harsh, and I think it set the tone for the game. I would credit Orlando for taking advantage of it. Sometimes you get a break and you don't get to, it fires the other team up, or you don't capitalize on that advantage. And Orlando very much did. They wrestled control the game away. They figured out the man marking gimmick in about 15 minutes. You had Janssen barreling into midfield over and over to get his man off of him. That threw everything off. And the movement from Griezmann is just sensational. Spicer on another level. I mean, it was outstanding. I thought they were brilliant. I thought they deserved the clean sheet. I was upset for them that they didn't get it at the end, with how well Crépeau played and how disciplined they were defensively that they didn't get it. But Monterrey has a lot of really good players, so that's going to happen. But I thought they were outstanding on Wednesday.
Especially when you got to consider the fact that they have almost an MLS All-Star team, and the fact that you got Luca Oriano, you got Diego Rossi, and Hugo Kuipers on your team. One guy who is still leading the MLS Golden Boot race. Is currently
they had the MLS and Liga MX Golden Boot leaders on the field at the same time, playing for the same team, between Kuipers and Lucas Ocampos.
Yeah. Ridiculous. So obviously it's one of those things where the way that we look at the Leagues Cup is, well, if you win game one, because of the way that the tournament is laid out, you have to care about game two, because obviously people have their stigmas. They don't like it. At the end of the day, it's prize money. It's a CCC spot. You have to care about every tournament that you're in our opinion. That's the way that our show has always looked at it. A tournament's a tournament. A trophy's a trophy. If there's a trophy up for grabs, you're competing to win that trophy. Giving up that goal was a gut punch at the end of that game, because of the fact that goal differential is such a gigantic part of it.
Massive.
We were one of I think 7 or 8 teams that won game one, and we were in 8th place I think we were in 8th place after game one, because we were only won by 1 goal. And only the top 4 teams advanced, which is difficult. But Cleon, I'm going to go to you for a second, because I want your opinion on this, because we got to take a quick second to talk about the stones on Tyrese Spicer. Because to go and win that penalty kick and then have Antoine Griezmann go there and act as a decoy to give you the ball to go ahead and take the PK, and then you go ahead and hit a piss missile top corner. What kind of stones does it take to have that kind of moment, to have Antoine Griezmann hand you the ball and then you hit that perfect of a penalty kick?
Man, first, I mean, you would think you'd just be shook just from the fact that, it's Antoine Griezmann, so you think he's just going to steal the PK, So then for him to just hand him the ball,
deservedly so,
at that point, and he probably had no nerves whatsoever once the PK was won, because he's probably thinking, well, this guy's going to take it, because let's be real, that's what most DPs do. You know what I mean? And most guys at that level, that's what they do. They'll take it. So for him to hand, that was such a big leadership type of thing. Like if he hadn't already won over that team, something like that goes so far, Now, mind you, for me, I'm a fan 100%, and that's what I am. So it's like, for me, I'm like, oh, I get it, but I don't trust it.
You better make it.
Exactly. So it's like, for him to just sit there and nail it, it was perfect. It was perfect, man. But but as a fan, it's so scary, man. It's like no, not during the cup. Don't do it. Just take it yourself.
If you watch the replay, you can hear the surprise in my voice at how disgusting the penalty was.
It was sick.
It was nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the thing too. Is like there's a difference between you're taking the penalty and then you take that penalty. Like that the only thing I could say about it is that one had some stank on it. So
that's
the way to say it.
I love it, man. I love it. So Griezmann, he's everything you want. He's everything you want from like a big name dude coming here, man. Like the stuff he put in. I know we're jumping ahead, but the slide tackling and everything you see like from the last of Leon, bro. Like what? It's like, and everyone's like, "Oh, get him out the game, get him out. He's too many minutes," and this dude's chasing down and slide tackling. I'm like, bro,
we gotta shut down the too many minutes thing. You're not dealing with a normal cat here. This is a different guy. He's just different.
And really, it's like at the same time, like I understand the thought process and things like that from people on the outside and the fans and things like that. But they wanted this guy at the beginning of the season, and it was a give and take for him to stay on and finish out the right way with Atletico, which he's earned that with that club and as a player himself. So you got to expect he's coming here. He's not coming here for a paycheck, man. He wants to do something. So he's
the other thing to know about him is that he won the World Cup. So it's not as if he has, lacks a big trophy. He has the biggest trophy of them all. He was the man of the match in the final. But from the club side, he never won La Liga. He never won the Champions League. Yeah. That they were in the Copa del Rey final was a big deal. The 2 times Atletico Madrid has won La Liga in recent history were the year before they signed Antoine Griezmann and the year he was at Barcelona. So this is something he wants to win titles. He is here to win trophies and to add to that case. And if MLS Cup is good enough for Messi, it is good enough for anybody. And I think that's a big deal that he wanted to come here and win. And he cut his holiday short. He was the first guy at the facility when the players reported back to preseason. He came
back early too. Like
he's not coming here to sit, man.
First guy on, first guy in, last guy out. Cliche. I mean, can use them all. They're all true. Is the thing. It's wild. He bought a beautiful home. He's got his 3 girls. He loves it here. I can't imagine a better fit. And hats off to the front office, to the ownership for putting up what needed to be put up to get it done, and to do the legwork to get it done, because this is now a club that will always have an established record of not only signing stars, but of treating them the right way, right? Kaká is a legend here. Kaká never made the playoffs, but for what he did to put our club on the map, everybody understands that, and he was treated the right way. Nani brought us to that next level, right? Made us a consistent contender. He was treated the right way. Now you're seeing Griezmann with the same approach, and it's a give and take from the star player and from the club. And that reputation going forward goes a long, long way. So I think it's enormously exciting, almost regardless of what happens on the field this year. But I think there's still certainly things to be won. I'm circling September 16th as the big date with the Open Cup, but this is the exact sort of thing you want to see, and it's gone swimmingly so far. I don't think it could have gone much better.
Yeah, that is very true. That is very true. But with the positive, there was a negative. We did have the loss to Club Leon in the second game. The unfortunate truth is we're not dead as far as the League's Cup's concerned, but boy, do we need a lot of help to make it to the next round. So for me, I think we're in the ICU critical condition. It's not good. Losing 2-1, and this was a frustrating game. And maybe if you felt that we had fortunate officiating decisions against Monterrey, we had decisions that were unfortunate for us in this game. That's the yin and the yang. That's the balance. That's as far as I can go as far as CONCACAF officiating goes. You're going to have some things that are positive. You are going to have some things that are negative. If you ask me, it's a penalty kick as far as what happened to Harvey Sargent.
You ask anybody.
Elbow that basically came across.
If you ask the defender, he's going to tell you. He's going. You call him right now. He's going to tell you.
Guys, the contact started outside the box. It was
which
a
is
foul.
Fine. Yeah.
but it was not a penalty. If the contact starts outside the box, it should have been a free kick on the edge of the box. But on VAR, they can't award that. They have to either give the penalty or let it stand. So it was absolutely a foul. The referee should not have let it go. But even if he'd blown the foul and they'd given a penalty, they would have taken the penalty away because the contact started outside the box. So, yes, Orlando did get jobbed of a really good-looking free kick, but I don't think it was a penalty kick.
That's fair.
I know that nobody wants to hear that. But frankly, I don't know that they deserve to win anyway. I thought Leon was excellent. I thought that in the second half, Leon was fantastic. That was my takeaway. They beat Nashville. They're just really good. Like I think they're gonna give Miami a headache on Wednesday night. These two center backs they signed, these Colombian guys are nasty. Guevara and Romagna, they are fantastic. I don't know that they had a whole lot of threat, but their number 9, Arcila, could have had a hat trick in this game. Crépeau robbed him blind a few times, and he finally got the winner at the end. I was disappointed that Orlando conceded on a set piece. Generally, they've defended those really well in recent weeks, and I didn't love seeing that. I thought they missed David Brecalo at various points in the game. Ryan trying to rotate him out and get some players some rest, and these are things you have to do over the course of a tournament. But ultimately, I just thought Leon was the better team on the night. They really played very well. And I think ultimately my takeaway was Leon is pretty good. I didn't learn a ton one way or the other about Orlando from this one, I don't think.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of how we're feeling about this too, is that, we have been a very up and down team for the most part, but I feel like there's been more ups coming out of the World Cup break.
Definitely.
It's just a matter of, can we sustain the ups? Because the biggest thing that I'm finding is obviously we're having defensive struggles. So I guess that's my next question to you.
To be expected when you look at the team.
Yeah, like the defense has been
at least what's available, or at least what we've got available. I mean, it's expected.
Because you lose Alex Freeman, you replace him with Griffin Dorsey, who is a great MLS player. Robin Janssen is aging. Bricalo's been up and down, to say the best. Iago is young and has had some growing pains. You've got Ryan, who's come in at left back and has been suitable and honestly done pretty well for the most part. There are definitely some teenage jitters, but Marine has been shaky at best. So, and Crépeau has had his games where he's looks like a world beater and some games where he's not seeing the field well. So, we're very up and down defensively. So I guess before we move on to previewing what's next, I'll ask Evan, do you think there's any defensive changes coming in the team? Do you think there's any moves left to be made?
Again, I'll preface this by saying I have no inside information. I have to think that they are at least going to add 1 or 2 players to that back line. The window is longer this year. This is usually it ends in mid-August. That is not the case this season. It actually goes to September 2nd. And the fact that it's a day later than the European window is a big deal. There are possibilities for them to make some moves in that window. I would hope it wouldn't take that long, but we'll see. But there is time still. There are 3 weeks plus left as of this recording to
make sure the fax machine works. I'll say that.
Yes. Make sure you hit submit and not save. That is a key. Got to make sure we are hitting the correct button on the software. But yeah, I have to think, just when you look, like what Cleon said, when you just look at the squad, there's a missing piece or two in that group. The thing is, the way they're playing, they're going to concede goals because they play this very high line. They're so aggressive. It's a very front-footed style. It is what Martin Perelman and Ricardo Moreira believe in their bones is the way to play. It is extremely entertaining. I got to tell you guys, doing these Apple games as a neutral down the middle, I never have to worry about being bored when I get an Orlando game. They are super fun. I know that's not necessarily what Cardiac Cats fans want to hear if they thought that maybe they'd have fewer palpitations. I would not advise much activity the day before or after games, but it is part of the system. They believe that they can win this way. I kind of do too. I got to tell you, I am starting to buy into this whole thing. I really am. I hear trust the process, and I go, oh, well, the Sixers still haven't gone past the Eastern Conference semis, but it's working. They've been so much more disciplined. I mean, you compare the way they looked before the break I mean, and especially before Robin got healthy, when they were shipping 5-6 a pop.
That's exactly right there.
The way they held the line against Monterey, they really, actually, I thought played pretty well defensively against Leon, all things considered. Even though they gave up 2 goals, one was on a free kick. That was a play you'd want back. But ultimately, I think they are getting to the place where, right, if they can add a piece or two and continue to drill this, that summer preseason helped them a ton. And as long as Robin Jansson's aging, he's still pretty darn good. He looks incredible. I think you've got to think, though, if he does get hurt, you'd be in a really, really bad spot. And that's where maybe you need to add. I'm really excited about Bernardo Rhine as a prospect. Is he ready to play game in and game out yet? I'm not sure. So there are spots where you could look at it. But ultimately, and the loss of Brian Ojeda is actually a really big deal. He had come back from the World Cup with a lot of confidence. I thought he was playing his best soccer in the first few games back. That is a big loss. Thankfully, you get Joran Gerbet back, but he's not the same profile. He wants to be on the ball. He's more of a distributor than a destroyer. It's going to be on to Luis Otavio, who I think has shown a lot and is I think, the furthest along of the 3 Brazilians at this point in terms of being an every game contributor. But he is going to have to show quite a bit down the stretch here, and you want to keep Wilder healthy. So that's a spot, too, where they may
look a little better, too, Wilder. Wilder seems like he's getting he seems like he's getting a little better too, as far as
yes, definitely. And the having Wilder as an off the field locker room presence and on the field coach with Janssen can't be overstated. The other thing I'd say is Crépeau is since the World Cup. I mean, for him to win that job, played pretty well at the World Cup. I crunched the numbers on it. He has an 800 save percentage since the World Cup. And these are not gimmies. I mean, he is making some really terrific stops. Distribution is never going to be a huge strength of his, but he's not, he's not prone to the pass straight to the striker. It's more the long ball maybe isn't exactly where you want it. And as a shot stopper, there's a reason he has the MLS single game saves record. There's a reason he's won an MLS Cup. There's a reason he won the job over Dane St. Clair, who was the better goalkeeper in the eyes of most, because he's that trustworthy guy. So I feel very good, better than I did in the spring, about where Orlando is with their goalkeeper.
And it's also one of those things for me too that's important to note. And like, not that it's like massive, but he's also undersized as far as the modern goalkeeper position is too. Like, I would say Maxime Crépeau, as far as most goalkeepers go, he's a little bit on the shorter side. I want to say he's like 6 foot.
Yeah, 6 foot. Yeah. He carries himself well. He has good posture.
I mean, as someone who's 5'8" with good shoes, I go ahead and say
Maxine's about 6 foot.
It's like I got my Air Maxes on. I'm a solid, maybe 5'9".
He's like Grinwis. He's like Grinwis size.
All right, let's go ahead and so let's do some stock up, stock down. So Cleon, because I've been talking to Evan most of the time. So Cleon, who you got as far as stock up, stock down through Leagues Cup so far?
Stock up, Spicer, obviously for me.
Hard not to be.
Yeah. I mean, he for me, he was one of those guys who's always, sometimes he look like world beater. And sometimes it's like, man, get him off the field for me. And then, but he's been on a tear, man. He's been on an absolute tear. And it's like, and it's weird because it's like Angulo has as well in a different way because, he's not a goal scorer, but he really can't pull any of them off. And it's like, we were talking about it earlier, and I almost feel like Ojeda's gone out. Maybe we should just put maybe if you want to keep all of them on the field, maybe put Angulo back there at the 8. I mean, he's kind of playing it anyway. So it's like, put a destroyer back behind him, obviously. But maybe if you stick and try Angulo at the 8, then you can keep, you can keep Spicer, you can keep Pasalic on, you can keep Griezmann, and you could put Ellis or DK when DK wants to sub in up top, or Ojeda when Ojeda's back. But for now, it's got to be Spicer, man. As far as stock up, stock down, just coming off of since the break, I can't really stock down anyone that's in the rotation, in the starting rotation. Even with this loss, I can't say I can't say somebody was just bad, and it's just, Leon's good, man. And a lot of people was like, oh, and he's screaming for heads after. I mean, lost at the end of the day. It's one of the top teams in this continent. So it's like, I mean, it's I can't really stock down for that.
That's fair. Evan, what about you? Who would you give a stock up to, stock down, anything like that?
I'm really excited that Cleon was able to go no stock down because that's what I wanted to do too. I really, it is not an
nobody stood out like that.
It's not an enormous deal that they lost this game. They played a really good team. I don't think they didn't get humiliated or anything like that. It was a very competitive game. I'm not going to call out anybody individually. I don't think anybody really deserved that from this performance. You mentioned Angulo. I'll say Luis Otavio. I think this is a huge opportunity for him. This is a young kid, 19 years old. He just turned 19 a couple of months ago. So he's the youngest of the U23s by a couple years, and those couple years matter a ton. The difference in development between a 19 and a 21-year-old is a really, really big deal. We talked about that with Ellis and with Freeman. Xavier Gozo just went for $15 million because he's 19. And Otavio is maybe not that level of prospect, but he has shown some real flashes. I think his defensive midfielders are hard to evaluate because you really have to watch them closely, and it's hard to do that because you're watching the ball and you want to see, but if you just take a look through the game, scroll through it, they're all there on Apple TV, and watch his positioning. It's very mature for a player of his age. He's rarely caught out. He was actually playing a little bit of a different role in this game. He was the 6 next to Eduardo Atuesta. He was actually more of the 8 next to Cartagena on the right side and was moving around a little bit more. I think he's probably their best ball winner now that Brian Ojeda is out. And this is a moment where he is going to have to capitalize from what I know about him. I don't speak Portuguese, so I haven't got to know him very well, but his teammates really speak highly of him, and he seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders. I expect him to take advantage of this opportunity and really inherit the mantle that Cesar Araujo left behind as the South American U22 central midfielder that steps in and is able to hold down that spot.
I'm annoyed that you went with Luis Otavio because that's who exactly.
Oh, was that your pick? I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, it's okay. No, we don't discriminate if we give it to multiple. If the one person gets it from many of us, because that means they deserve it. And that's one thing that we've kind of been saying that the team's been missing. Was last before World Cup to now is we were missing someone who had more of that bite in the midfield, and Brian Ojeda was bringing that, which was nice, and that's why I'm so sad that he got hurt. But there hasn't been much of a beat skipped with Luis Otavio taking over, which is good because he has still been a good ball-winning central midfielder. He has had that bite, and he's had that intensity. And if, you guys aren't going to give a stock down, I will give us 2 stock downs. And that is to Iago and Luis Otavio for their dye jobs. I don't know who's doing their hair. I don't know what's going on, but
I'm not going to judge.
I like the Otavios, man. Otavios, hey.
Listen, kids are allowed to make mistakes.
Otavio's getting the pass.
I never made any mistakes with my hair. I didn't have the opportunity, but
I did.
I made plenty of mistakes.
I used to shave my head every day, man. Every day I used to in high school.
The worst is the period of time
trying to be Michael Jordan
when you're trying to deny that you're balding. Jalen Suggs went through this recently. Most famously in Orlando sports lore was Evan Fournier, and I would scream at the television every time they show a close-up.
Yeah,
just shave it off. Just do it.
Let it go. Let it go, bro.
You can grow a beard. Jalen Suggs looks great now with the shaved head, and he's got the headband. He looks like a dog. I don't understand that. LeBron, my guy, you're 41. Enough.
Let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go.
I want to say the subreddit is just, I think it's just rbald, where it's like people just being like, it's finally time to let go, and they're just posting the transformations of when they shave their head, and it's like, I was like, man, you should have just done that like 3 years ago. Like whenever I see it, I'm like, everyone, like all these dudes, it's like, you guys look much better just when you decided to let it go. Like,
it's a good look. You got to do it.
There's nothing. Bald's beautiful, man. Nothing
man, it's
wrong
wild,
with
man. It's wild because you can look back. You can look back to me. A lot of people, they see you, they ain't seen you since high school, and now you're bald, and people's like, oh, I didn't recognize you. But for me, I had a bald head all the way since 1993. So for me, everyone was like, oh,
I had a bald head in 1993 too.
Oh yeah, mine was. I let it all go. Never came back.
I was.
Evan, why was yours bald?
So
It never came back.
I knew that's where it was going. That's what I was like, let me go ahead and lead the horse to water here real quick. All right. So with that, we got obviously my stock down is kidding, not serious. Someone who has had both pink and blue hair at one point. So I have no room to critique.
Pink and blue
yeah,
is wild.
pink.
It was during COVID. I was trying to my team at work. I was like trying to like motivate them to try and.
That
have
was
fun
Miami's
during-
first year. How could you be having pink hair?
Caught you.
It was
Caught you.
Mike.
Caught you.
I let
Talking about my
them.
cherry purple card.
I
and
let
there you go.
them. I let them pick the color. That's what it was. I was like, you guys can pick the
That would-
color,
that
and
would
the
not have
winning
been
the
allowed.
winning vote. The winning vote was cotton candy. So my hair was a combination of blue and pink. So
At least there was
But-
some blue in it.
That's
there
enough.
was
I don't
blue.
know,
in it.
though.
There was.
It's
All
not
right.
great.
It happened. I liked the green more when I had green, so we'll go with that. But all right, so San Luis is coming up. Atletico San Luis is coming up on Wednesday. I can't give you a real scenario of how we get through, but realistically, what it comes down to is we have to win by a multitude of goals. At least 3 or 4. 4 more likely would be the best way to get through, and then you need a lot of results to go your way. Because you have, I believe it's 7 or 8 MLS, 16. I think there's 5 MLS teams on
There are
6 points.
teams with 6 points.
6 on 6 points. And then you also have
LAFC has
RSL
5.
and LAFC on, 4 and 5 respectively. So they are all ahead of us as far as things go. The only thing that you can do is you can try and win by multiple goals, but Atletico San Luis is out. I would anticipate they play a rotated squad. We have a big game against Cincinnati. I could see us potentially rotating. Evan, do you have any insight, any thoughts on what the lineup could be this upcoming Wednesday for this game?
This is again. I haven't talked to Martin yet. I don't know anything. I would get very familiar with Orlando City B. Would be my guess. For this game. Look, the math is just not there, right? I think 8 points is going to be table stakes on the MLS side.
Yeah.
The home field advantage is such a big deal, and MLS just keeps getting better relative to Liga MX that if you're at home, Alex, thank you so much.
He just messaged us because he's got a newborn at home, so he's not able to join us right now. But
Congratulations, man. Thank you so much. Where was I? Yes.
Math.
It's going to be so
the
hard.
children.
It's going to be so hard for anybody to get through. I don't. It's hard to see it. And in the calendar where Orlando's going to play another 2-game week next week, with the Cincinnati game is a 6-pointer. The game after that is Chicago. That's a 6-pointer. I think you probably rotate again for Real Salt Lake in the last home game there, just because you're playing a Western Conference team, perhaps not as dramatically, but this one is for me. If Griezmann is going to get a game, this is going to be the one, right? Where you probably don't need to be the Iron Man for this one, and rest up for Saturday. But we'll see. I could see them wanting to keep the rhythm because I think they've been good, but I think, I'll trust their decisions on that, but I don't see a way through here for me as far as if you lose a game and you're in an MLS team, it just feels like you're done. I don't. Last year it took 7 points and a +6 goal difference for Orlando to go through. Portland, who I had on FS1 Sunday night, did not go through because they lost the shootout to Club America last year and they were 7 with a +5, and that wasn't enough. And this year, the MLS teams have been more dominant. So it just does not strike me as realistic at this point that Orlando could make it. I think it's a great opportunity to give some guys some run. I'd love to see Gervais start this game. I'd love to see Harvey Sarajan out there from the start. He's shown some promise off the bench. Maybe this is where you can get Daryl 45 to 60 minutes and give him an opportunity. I'd like to see Thiago play this game. I know he had a tough start coming back from the World Cup, but he flashed quite a bit in the first half of the season. Here's an opportunity for him to regain some confidence. You don't want to lose the player by burying him on the bench. This is a real chance for him. maybe you can do the same for Adrian Marine. So I think there's Javier Otero would not be a bad option here. So this is a game where you can get some guys, some opportunities to get some run, rest some of your key players. And that doesn't mean that it's going to be an unexciting game. I actually suspect
not at all.
that this will be a pretty open and entertaining game for those that join us at Inter.co Stadium on Wednesday night. But it's not one where I would want to risk a whole lot of the top guys, especially with what is a true 6-pointer with Cincinnati on Saturday.
And as the gambler that I am, it's good that you say that, because both teams to score for Orlando City has been just quite the bet this season.
That is a profitable, yeah. I can imagine. I am not allowed to bet, but I can imagine that did very well. Yeah.
I understand, and honestly,
nor do I condone gambling for the Orlando Lions Den audience. Mike is a degenerate.
I am 1,000,000% a degenerate. I went to the casino actually this past weekend because of the fact that they were like doing a birthday celebration, and we went. This was going to be my shout out, but I'm telling the story now. They were doing like a birthday celebration for people whose birthdays were between July and September. So me and my friend were like, all right, we both got the invite. His is in July, mine's in September. Let's go. We got a free dinner out of it. They're like, you'll get a free gift, which just turned out to be chocolates, which was kind of bullshit. So I'm annoyed about that. And then we didn't win any of the giveaways.
Mike, you gambled and you lost.
100%. Well, no, I was degenerate to the point to where what I was doing is I was like, I didn't lose any money on this trip, which is always good. I didn't win anything, but I wanted to go I wanted to go and just chill and have fun. So I was playing games where I knew it was going to be a lot of pushing. But I had 4 singles on me. So what I do is I'll go to the high stakes slot machines and I'll just put $1 in, and then I'll try and hit to win the free chance on like a big money spin. So I'm gambling while gambling, which is probably part of something that I should call a phone number about. So I lost $4. I'm not going to be.
We might need to add a PSA to this podcast.
Well, we're not sponsored by Hard Rock yet. We keep trying. They don't answer our calls. So,
please no prediction markets. Don't do that to me.
I would never. Okay. I do not believe in them, and I do not use them. I will never use them. Because they're incredibly flawed science in my opinion. But anyways, that's it. We could talk for hours about that if we wanted to. There was one name though that I feel like you didn't mention that both Cleon and I would be interested to see play in this game and get some minutes. Cleon, do you want to see some Nacho Gomez?
Some Nacho Gomez, boy. Give it to me. Give it to me. I wanted it last game.
He's on the roster. Him and I'd like to see Pedro Leao play a little bit in this game.
Yeah, give him 2.
OCB, by the way, if you're a regular viewer of Orlando Soccer Insider, you know we love OCB. And we end the show when they win with the OCB highlight. And we kind of do a Sports Center highlight. And the way we do it is that Miguel has never seen it before we show it to him while we do the show. And for whatever reason, really since Perelman took over like 5 years ago, their games are ridiculous. They are cartoonishly
it's a roller coaster
all the time. And I guess I shouldn't be surprised that the first team is now playing this way, because OCB did it forever. And they're still doing it no matter who's coaching them. They play crazy games, and our academy has gotten so good that they win all the time now. So they have these, and they've supplemented it with a couple of young international players, Gomez and Pedro Leao, who are really, really good. Gustavo Carballo is balling out down there. Certainly a name to remember. Another guy that maybe we could see a little bit of in this game on Wednesday. I really, really enjoy them. If you're down in the South Orlando, Kissimmee area, I highly recommend, because they are just a hoot. And it's cool to see all the young talent that we're producing. You're seeing it. You saw it with Freeman. You're seeing it with Justin Ellis. There are more coming. You're seeing it with Ryan. This is where all that talk, all the stuff that Luis Muzzi and Ricardo started doing 6-7 years ago. It takes time for kids to go from being 12 to being 19, but we're now starting to see the fruit of that first class that's really come all the way through produce. And that to me is something to be really excited about if you're going to watch on Wednesday as well.
100%. I think you hit the nail on the head, because that's the people always be like, well, you guys haven't done anything. It's like, well, no, back then it's like, we haven't done anything yet.
Yep.
Like, you guys want us to have a good academy. when Oscar and Muzi built all that out, that infrastructure in FC Dallas, it took time. And now FC Dallas is their kids from the B team are being sold to Europe.
Yeah, they just sold a 15-year-old to Chelsea.
Yeah, exactly. So it's one of those things where it takes time to get there, but you're gonna start seeing that happen with more regularity in this team now because of the fact that they are doing it with consistency, which is awesome. Mm-hmm. So I think, do we have any predictions on what we think is going to happen with this game? Evan, I know you might not be able to comment on what your prediction would be, but Cleon, I'll go to you and say,
I think the broadcast is going to be awesome. That's my prediction.
You got Dax again with you in the booth.
Yes, it'll be me and Dax for both San Luis and Cincinnati.
I love it.
Bro, I have no idea how you even make a prediction on this game coming up because I feel like it's going to be OCB, and there's some wild boys down there. So this ought to be a 3-4 win or 3-4 loss.
One of the two. Flip a coin.
Flip a coin.
I'm fine with that. I have fun, no cards, no injuries. That's my prediction. Have fun, no cards, no injuries. Because like I said, like Evan said, I should say, the mountain might just be too tall to climb in this instance to be able to get through. So,
for me to even consider, I would literally have to have the last game of the night, all the other games in, and then I see, there's a chance. That's the only way. That's the only way I even consider it. Just for now, it's like you said, the math just doesn't math. So they're basically eliminated. It's just, send boys out there, let them get some experience. Let's move on. Try to win the next one.
And when we're moving on to FC Cincinnati at home. Evander,
we need payback there, man.
Evander torched us in
we need some payback.
The game in Cincinnati. This is a game where we need some payback dearly. And they've looked good. I feel like they've looked relatively good throughout Leagues Cup 2. I don't know if they're at the top of the standings, but they
are right about there. I don't know that they're there on goal difference, but they had a pretty cozy draw.
They did, yeah.
Pumas was probably the best team they played. They're playing Atlas, who are one of the sort of bottom table teams in Liga MX.
Right, Rodrigo Schlegel.
He's one of their best players, actually. It is. They are likely to advance, I'd say. I'm curious to see how they approach the Orlando game because they are going to have to go all out tomorrow night against Atlas. They have to win. It's very possible that 9 points is necessary to get through from MLS. And so the one thing we do know is Evander is just on another level right now. If the season ended today, he would win the MVP, not Messi. Get back to me in November. I don't think that'll still be true. But if the season ended right now, Evander has been the best player in Major League Soccer in 2026. He is an insane striker of the ball, insane creator, and often has to just carry this team to results and has gotten it done. Defending is optional for Cincinnati. They are right behind Orlando in terms of goals conceded. I would not take long bathroom breaks or be strategic with when you go get a refill or go get a snack at this game because a lot is going to happen.
100%.
I don't think it's going to be 6-2 again. I say that. I think I can predict that much, but there will be goals. That much we can expect reasonably from this one.
And I will go ahead and kick it off. My prediction, I'm going to go ahead because I think you're onto something in the fact that they're probably going to go full tilt 3 games in a row in Leagues Cup. We are going to get a somewhat rotated squad against Orlando, especially with having to travel to Orlando.
You're on the road. It's hot. It's gross. It's
probably going to be a rain delay.
Yeah.
Probably going to be a rain delay. Give me 3-1 Orlando. We get that little bit of payback. 50% of it. We didn't get the full 6-2, but we got half of it, 3-1. And go ahead and give me a Griezmann goal, give me a Paslic goal, and give me DK his first goal back off the bench.
I would love that.
Do you have something cooked up as far as a call for if DK gets his first? Is it something you've been workshopping? You don't have to tell us.
Nothing explicitly scripted, but I don't know. I go back a ways with Daryl, and it'll be something from the heart, I think.
I love it. I love it. Cleon, what do you think about the game against Cincinnati? What's your prediction?
I'm a little. I also feel like there's going to be a lot of rotation on their part. So that should be helpful for us. But I'm a little concerned with our. It seems, I don't know if it's just me, but it seems like everyone. It's like the notes are out or something. It's like everyone's coming for our left side, and it seems like every match they're just coming over and over and over, coming for that left side. It was happening when Marin was in there, and it's still happening when Ryan's in there. Maybe it seems like they're trying even more now, but I'm a little concerned with that because it just seems like we haven't been able to counter for that. You know what I mean? And it seems like we've been getting really hurt coming down that side. So I'll go 2-1 win for us, but there's a lot of hesitancy in that prediction.
I understand it. Well, this has been a treat, Evan. Thank you so much for joining us. This has definitely been one of my favorite shows of the year. It's always great to have you on, and I think we look forward to trying to do this more often rather than maybe once every 2 to 3 years, because we didn't even talk about John Cena's retirement, which I feel like is something that we should have talked about a ton, especially with me and Cleon on the show, because we're the two wrestling guys, and I know he is your GOAT of wrestling.
The GOAT.
So
he's y'all's GOAT of wrestling. Because you know who my GOAT is.
The retirement run was not what I had hoped.
No.
Yeah. I don't think it was. I personally, I didn't care for how his final match ended, and I also didn't care for the failed attempt at a heel turn. I just don't think it was needed. You know, it was trying. It was
about 15 years too late.
Yeah. If you didn't do it,
they're usually late. They're not usually that late.
That late is shocking.
That's impressive.
But Evan, I'll give you the floor real quick. If there's anything you want to go ahead and give a shout out to before we get a wrap up here, because we have a special thing we have to do here at the end for fantasy football season coming around. But Evan, floor is yours. Anything you want?
Well, I do this every time I come on. I want to shout out everybody who listens and everybody who stands and cheers in that wall and comes to our games. And Orlando is always, I mean, I work for the league now as well as the club. It is what I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to be on TV and travel the country and talk about sports for a living. It's surreal and ridiculous and silly, and I can't believe that I get to do it. And it feels sometimes like I've pulled the wool over everybody's eyes that they let me do this stuff. But my wife assures me that I earned it, so I suppose I should believe her. But it's been so much fun, and I wouldn't be here without Orlando City. I would not be anywhere remotely close to the person I am or what I'm doing without the club, and the club would not be what it is without fans. It's that's not lip service. That's just the truth. I've seen a lot of great fan bases around MLS this year. I've gotten to go to some really, really great buildings. So San Jose, Vancouver, when that was 1 and 2 in the table, San Jose was on tilt. That was a great fan base. Austin, for a team that is down in the dumps, brings it every time out. I've been even Atlanta. I know it's real rough up there, but their ultras are still there. But there's nothing like Purple Paradise, man. There's nothing like it. It is. There's an edge to it that you don't find most other places, and we should be very, very proud of that. It's something that is totally organic and built from a community that, listen, everybody loves to take shots at Orlando, right? Everybody wants to be like, oh, Mickey Mouse, it's hot and gross, and it's just tourists, and anyone who says that has never been here, really been here and seen our city and what an amazing, vibrant community we have. And I think the best place to see that community in a shortest amount of time is an Orlando City match. And I always tell people that if you want to see the real Orlando, go tailgate, go stand on the wall, or just go sit and watch the wall. My wife will bring her family, and they're just like, do they stand the whole game? Oh yeah. But the real Orlando comes out at Interco Stadium. And I always appreciate the love and the support that you guys have given me over the years. It means so much. I know the club means so much to all of us. So shout out to all of y'all. Really, really appreciate it. And I'll always have that purple in me forever and ever.
I love it. And first and foremost, your wife's right. You absolutely do deserve it. You've worked your butt off, and we've appreciated seeing your growth from when you first started here and to where you're at now. Has been incredible. And just because you mentioned the wall, man, and the stadium, we got college football stadiums built in safe standing sections now. Okay, that just goes to show the impact that Orlando City has. Because remember,
I would say this too.
We were the first. So.
Now I've gone around, and every new stadium since 2017 is based on Inter.co Stadium in some way. The ones before it were not really like it. The concept of the modern soccer specific stadium, Inter.co Stadium is kind of the original model of the current version. I mean, you go to Austin, LAFC, Columbus, Cincinnati, all these places. I have not been to the new stadium in Miami yet, so I'll have to reserve judgment on that one. But all of these places are just, it's so obvious where the inspiration was. And it's a building that took no public money to build. I'll always shout out Flavio for that. I think it's amazing. And we should be very proud of it. And I think what Jared and his team have done to plus the experience, getting local food into the building was such a win. It has been awesome as well. So it's a great place for us to have in our community. No doubt.
Eddie's usually either on the Den After Dark on Twitter or on this show every week, shouting out whatever new food he tries at the stadium. So it's definitely always something there. And I agree with everything you had to say. So appreciate that. Cleon, did you have anything you wanted to shout out other than the fantasy draft order?
Other than shouting out the rest of y'all 13 losers in the draft order? Yeah. I'll shout out back to Evan too real fast, man, because this fan base, they're not very adept to like change and stuff like that. So when you came in, it was like, hey, when you came in, I wasn't one of them, mind you, and this is the truth, but I wasn't one of them. But a lot of the fan base was just, they didn't want a new guy in,
Yeah, who's this kid? Totally.
They didn't want the new guy in, whether you're good or not. But and I feel like after in your style, you're so energetic and stuff like that, and it's like they had to get used to it, and I feel like everyone now has an appreciation for you, and you're one of us now. So and you've done that without sacrificing yourself as far as the way you call a game. You know what I mean? So it's like, to me, you sound the same as when you first started to now, and it's always been good. I'm not saying you've gotten a little better as well, but you were always, for me, you was always good. You were always energetic. You always make the game sound exciting. And, this is entertainment. I say it all the time. I want to entertain in football. I want entertainment. I want the game to be entertaining. I want everything. I want goals. I want excitement, and you do a great job of that. You tell a lot of stories, and you definitely earned your spot, man. And I'm glad Apple, they got you on there, because that first year we were like, man, where's Evan? And they got you on now, and I feel like everyone's seeing your work, and you got the World Cup call. Everyone sees your value now. So it's for me.
I appreciate that, man. That means a lot. It was cool to realize that people were like, I was winning people over the years. That first year I used to get a lot of grief, but it was good for me. It was good for me to learn from, though. It was great. And I mean, look, Mike and I are Mets fans. When Gary retires, the guy who steps into that job
terrified.
Screwed. I mean, they could be the greatest announcer in the world, and it won't matter because they're not Gary. So it means a lot that hopefully whoever that is able to earn it, and I will give them a ton of grace because I know what that feels like. But no, thank you, Cleon. That's very cool of you to say. It means a lot.
Well, Cleon said everything that I would have been able to say there. He actually said it better than I would have. So credit to Cleon for there. Let's do a quick run over to sharing I'm going to share my screen here. This is
bunch of losers.
Super well. Bunch of losers, says the man who's never won a league title. Meanwhile, the two-time defending champion right here.
Passion than talking shit when you have no leg to stand on. Just keep posting.
100%.
Hey, look, we have relegation. We have relegation in our league, and I told them, I'm like Man City. I'm Man United. I'm never getting relegated. and they all try, and they hate me. I'm the commissioner. I get booed. I'm the greatest commissioner there is. I don't understand these guys' problem, but whatever. I do a great job.
This is a strong heel gimmick. This is good.
They can run it. And Evan, not to my doing, but my strongest haters, what happens? Karma catches them. They get relegated. Happens every year. So, Adrian, I'd like to say goodbye to Adrian real fast before you hit this randomized button.
What happens if you get relegated? You get kicked out?
Yeah, we get kicked to League 2. We have a League 2.
You have a League 2.
We have a 2.
It's a 28 overall 28 teams, 14
That's
man
amazing.
in League 1, 14 man in League 2. Top 2, the champion of League 2 and the supporter shield
and the regular season and the supporter shield winner.
Oh, very cool.
And the people that finish last on the bottom, they get kicked out. We got real strict roster rules and everything. They complain about that all the time, but it works.
Yeah, a lot of gam gets traded. So, all right, let me go ahead and hit this. Where is your 2-time defending champion drafting? I'm going 5th.
Where am I?
Cozy got
7,
Cozy,
right in the middle. I'll take it. Whatever.
You don't go with the previous year?
Well, because we have 2 people, new people coming in, we have to.
So they go 1 and 2.
Well,
no, we don't do it like that.
To be fair,
right.
Cozy,
but mind you, we have draft pick trading. We have draft pick trading too.
We do. So
we have draft pick trading, and I make trades every year. So
I like that 7 spot, Cleon. That is nice.
Yep.
You don't have to.
Rams not going to be happy.
Hey, I didn't press the buttons. They all claim fraudulent activity. I didn't even press the button. This ain't me, so I don't want to hear
it. Sitting pretty.
That number 7. Perfect.
I'm pulling for you, Cleon. Don't listen to haters.
So, exactly.
Eddie's saying, "Don't forget, I won the Shield one time." There you go, Eddie. You did do that, but I'm the one who's got the belt here. I got the belts because I've had it 2 times in a row.
Mind you, they are downplaying my success in this league because I am a 2-time Shield winner. So I don't know what they're talking about over there.
I just need all
something.
I just need all the respect to last year's team name being McConkie Tonk Badonkadonk.
My college friends and I are in a very serious year-long pick'em pool where we pick 8 or 9 different events. We do a daily MLB, NBA. It's all just for fun. And for this, the Darren Ravel Memorial Award for Excellence in Predictive Sports Analysis, which I won in 2022. And have not shipped to any of my friends that live in Maryland or New York City since the last time I won it 4 years ago. So I'm still holding on to the cup, even though it has been quite some time since I actually won the thing. But possession is 9/10 of the law.
Look,
there you go.
I pay the shipping and everything on this belt that goes everywhere to the champion, and they still try to talk about how terrible a commissioner I am for me. They never lifted a dime for nothing. They don't have to pay for the league. I pay all the trophies. I do everything for them, and still I get no respect. But it's
show some respect to your commissioner.
It's
people.
fine. It's fine.
I never said a bad word about him. I never did.
What?
I didn't. I'm not saying other people didn't, but. All right. Well, I got a crying puppy over here that has gas, so I think I need to go ahead and end this podcast here soon before I have an accident to clean up. Evan, thank you so much for joining us. Vamos Orlando. We got 2 big games this week, and we will be back with Den After Dark for both of them.
Send me that order, Mike.
I'll send you that order. I will go ahead and send a screenshot in the chat. We love you guys. We will see you next time. Take care, and thank you again, Evan, for joining.
Thanks, fellas.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Orlando Lions Den podcast. Don't forget to follow us at Orlando Lions Den on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. See you next week in the Den.